What's up, guys? It's the NJB, and I'm going to talk about why I believe General Grievous was downgraded in Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So, if you watch the original Clone Wars and compare it to the newer one, you'll see that General Grievous is much weaker, and he just isn't as menacing as he was originally. So, let's get right into it. And I'm sorry for not uploading as much. My laptop is getting fixed, so it's kind of harder for me to make some videos. Also, I've been kind of busy with work over the past few weeks, so let me try and be more consistent with that. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So one thing I realized while watching the Clone Wars is that General Grievous is pretty trash. I mean, from seeing him in the original Clone Wars, which I watched a bit later than most people, I saw that, first of all, in the original Clone Wars, he was incredible. He took on multiple Jedi at once, and he took on multiple Jedi, clone troopers, Republic gunship, and he was so strong that all of them had to evacuate because he's just that good, and they were barely able to hurt him at all, if any. Also, he was able to kidnap the Chancellor by taking on multiple clone troopers and taking on 3 different Jedi Knights and 1 Master at the time. And you can just see that General Grievous was just a force to be reckoned with. He was pretty unstoppable. Whenever you saw him on screen, you knew that something was going to happen. He wasn't this coward who would go away every time he's in a fight and get overpowered every single time. He was this warrior who could just take on anyone and come out of it pretty much unscathed and victorious. Now, I don't understand where that went wrong in the newer Clone Wars. Every fight General Grievous is in, he either loses it or he only wins if it's against someone pretty much like a Jedi Padawan or a non-Force user. I mean, he can win against just average people, even some Gungans. But in that episode, I believe he was pretty much outmatched because he was going against an army, and he doesn't use any firearms, so it's a bit difficult, especially with his army shut down. There's not really much he could do, especially on another planet. But either way, that's the only time General Grievous really got into a fight where it's kind of like, okay, he probably should win that because he's outmatched. But most of the times, when he's just one-on-one with a Jedi, he doesn't win. He goes against Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi in the Clone Wars many times, and he never really defeats him or gets the chance to end him. There's always something happens. In Malevolence, Obi-Wan escapes. In the episode when they're hunting him down, Grievous kind of gets the edge over him, but then Grievous escapes. On Camino, Grievous, their fight is interrupted by one of the it's called those squid droid things. I mean, every time he gets into a fight, something happens, or he's either outmatched and the other person escapes. Like he fights Kit Fisto, he escapes. And that's after Fisto has already bested him. He tries to kill Eth Koth in that episode in season 2. Koth gets the upper hand over him, and the Magna Guards interfere. So every time Grievous gets into a fight, he just doesn't win. The same happened with Ventress. He was winning for a little bit, and Ventress got the edge over him, and he fell down, and he had to get his droids to help him. I mean, Grievous cannot win any fights on his own, and it kind of dumps him down because he's just not a menace in the new Clone Wars, and it's kind of frustrating. So I just don't understand why they would have made Grievous that weak. They should have let him actually defeat some powerful Jedi in the Clone Wars, and I think it would have been a lot better if they brought him in a bit later in the series, maybe season 4 or 5, because when you have him in the Clone Wars since the beginning and he's not winning any battles, then it's he's just another regular criminal who's not doing anything well. And when you have a guy that can wield 4 lightsabers at once, then you really want to make some better use out of him, because it's just ridiculous that he loses all his fights. And whenever he uses 4 lightsabers, he doesn't even use it like he did in the original series. I mean, first of all, in the original series, he only revealed that he had 4 lightsabers once, and that was in the very end, and he slaughtered the 2 Jedi he was fighting with it. Because, first of all, he didn't even need to do that at first, but now it seems like Grievous... It just seems like he brings it out just to kind of catch the Jedi off guard, but he still uses it like he's using 2 blades. He swings with all 4 at the same time with kind of one strike, and he doesn't really give a variety. He doesn't do 1-1-1 different attacks. He just uses basically like two lightsabers. He swings with them like two at a time each time, and it's not really like overpowering a Jedi when he does it. I mean, whenever he goes against a Jedi and he uses it, he usually just spins them around and strikes, and he just doesn't use it to his advantage. If you compare that to the original one, he was completely dominant when he was using it. Pretty much all lightsaber strikes that he did, and no one could really compete with him. So all in all, what I'm basically saying is that General Grievous is not as good in the newer Clone Wars than he was in the original series. I mean, he's basically a copy and paste of Revenge of the Sith, and that's not what we really wanted to see. And there's also some continuity errors with like him, like his breathing, because in the original series, Master Windu force crushed his chest, and you see him start to cough after that moment, and then it carries on throughout the entire Revenge of the Sith. And in the new one, they changed it. They said that it was like a problem with his armor or the design of his body. And in a universe like Star Wars, where there's so much advanced technology, that's really just a dumb excuse. I mean, it's ridiculous for us to think that the Separatists could not create the right technology for one of their general warriors in a war just so he can just breathe normally. I mean, it's ridiculous. And another thing is, I don't really understand how he coughs, because when we cough, it comes through our throat and exits our mouth. Grievous doesn't have a mouth anymore, and I don't really know if he has like a proper throat that just works like ours does. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've always found a problem with that, and I've never really heard anyone say like that. I don't know, maybe it's just me or maybe I'm missing something, but I just don't think it makes sense at all. So anyway, all in all, I'm basically saying Grievous isn't as good. He loses pretty much all the fights he should win. He should have defeated some more powerful Jedi in the Clone Wars, and they should have brought him in later just so he wasn't just like a regular villain that just attacks, goes away, attacks again, goes away, and is a coward and can't defeat anyone without the help of his droids. So that's basically the summary of my video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This has been the NJB. Tell me what you guys think about Grievous in the comments below. And yeah, do you agree or disagree with me? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, mates.